Sorry, my boss.
Hi
everyone, welcome. It's nice to see you all on this festive occasion. My name is Lori Badman, and this is Heather Whittaky, your co-president. Can you hear? No? Are you here now? How about that? My big mouth? You can hear. So Heather and I would like to wish you happy holidays.
We work on that.
Yeah, we rehearsed that. I hope 2008. Now that's too loud. Is that true? Yeah.
Turn down the echo.
How about that? That's better. That's good. Mark, we good? Sound check.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. I hope 2019 has been a good year for you all. For us here at the HVDMA, it's been a great year. We've delivered robust content on trending industry issues from insightful speakers and subject experts. Thank you to our 2019 panelists, speakers, and moderators. Many of you are here today in the audience. Your contribution is much appreciated. Also, we produced a number of podcasts this year, which you can find on our website, home screen, click podcast. They'll be there for you. Oh, and I'd like to particularly welcome our new members today. Diane Budell from Pure Insurance. Liz Services. Debbie Goldbar. Here I go. And Bottomline. And Kim Frieder. Kim Frieders. Today we are recognizing Jeff Kobil for his exceptional contribution to the and to the HVDMA with the 2019 Founders Award, along with announcing our Young Professional Award winners and scholarship recipients.
We'd also like to thank our sponsors today. Wyland, who sponsored our lunch, and Alliance, who is our Asselmeyer sponsor. Thank you. Going to read a little bit about each. So Wyland, for those of you that don't know, is a leading provider of business intelligence and data-driven marketing solutions. Regardless of channel, digital, direct mail, email, marketers rely on us to deliver highly responsive marketing audiences that fuel their organization's growth and profitability. Wyland clients span a wide range of sectors, including multi-channel, retail, publishing, nonprofit, political, home and personal services, financial services, travel and hospitality, as well as automotive. Our second sponsor, Alliance. Alliance delivers people-based audiences that optimize marketing profitability in any channel. Their audience enrichment and predictive modeling solutions are built upon billions of consumer data points, advanced data science, and high-performance technology. Great people, great data, great technology make Alliance a partner you need to consistently deliver exceptional results. Thank you, Alliance. And here to help us deliver our Founders Award is Rich Vergara. Sorry, Rich, get it up.
It's really an honor for me to be here and a thrill to help present this well-deserved award to Jeff Kobil. Jeff and I have a relationship that spans, I almost don't want to say it, but 40 plus years. Mostly as colleagues and business partners. But what a lot of people don't know is that our relationship started as broker and client. Jeff worked at a company called Longines Symphonette Society back then, back in the 70s, which sold books and music through continuity programs, and I was a new broker at the Clyde Company, and I was his list broker. Longines had a great staff of really smart people, not only Jeff, but people like Roy Abrams and Fred Singer, who went on also they had very distinguished careers in direct marketing. Unfortunately, on I think it was a Friday the 13th, Jeff was telling me, in 1974, in September, the operation suddenly was closed without warning. And very unfortunate for Jeff and Elaine, that was the day after they closed on their first house and emptied their bank account in the process. So Jeff was a new homeowner and out of a job. We offered him a job at the card company, and he accepted, and the rest is history. And like many of us, Jeff obviously entered the list industry out of a sense of desperation, with no other viable options in front of him. But some of you who haven't seen Jeff in a while, you have to admit, he looks great. He's lost a lot of weight. He's enjoying life. He's got 5 grandchildren. He spends the winters in Florida. Nobody has it better than Jeff.
You want to check with
But
Elaine?
even better, I'll get to Elaine. Don't worry about Elaine. But even better than how he looks on the outside is how he looks on the inside. Not only is he a kind and generous and caring person, but the man doesn't have an original joint left in his body. Knees, hips, shoulders, ankles, they've all been either repaired or replaced. If there was such a thing as Orthopedic Patients Hall of Fame, Jeff would have been in on the first batch. We traveled through the airports with Jeff, and the metal detectors go off like it's 4th of July. It's really quite an experience. Some of you may have met wife Elaine, son Brian, who came up from DC for this occasion. Jeff and Elaine really hit the parents' jackpot. We were talking about this before. They have one, especially the Jewish parents' jackpot. They have one son who's a lawyer, and their daughter Jessica is a doctor and lives in the Miami area. I would give most of the credit for that to Elaine, young voter. They belong to a faith that does not officially recognize sainthood. But if they didn't, Elaine would be at the top of the list. 15 years of marriage. They celebrated their 50th anniversary not long ago, so beat me to the applause now. Elaine, when you said 50 years ago the words "for better or worse," in sickness and in health, did you have any idea what you were signing up for?
She says it's the best 5 years of her life.
Probably the last 5, But seriously, it's a great honor and a thrill to be up here introducing Jeff. He's been a great partner and a great friend for over 40 years now. I can honestly say that during our time in business together, there was never a major dispute that we couldn't solve by sitting down and discussing it honestly. And with that, I want to say congratulations, Jeff, on an honor well deserved.
Is this clear for everybody? Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? When I walked in today, Lori Latson came up to me and said, "It's your bar mitzvah." Okay? And I said to her, "I'm no longer 13, and I didn't have half as many people here at my bar mitzvah." Richard mentioned the fact that Elaine and I celebrated 50 years, and I'll just digress a little bit. And I never even told Brian this. Brian came up from DC, is that, we had a little secret we never shared, okay? As a couple, that once a week we went out, okay, for a quiet candlelight dinner at a nice restaurant with a glass of wine. She went Tuesdays and I went Thursdays. That's how we survived. Well, let me get into the official business then. And I would like to thank co-presidents, Lori Bagman and Heather Winnicky, and the Hudson Valley DMA board for this totally surprising honor, in all honesty. At the time I was in the car and I got the call from Lori and Heidi and didn't recognize the number. So being someone who doesn't like to answer strange numbers, I wasn't going to pick up the phone, and I did pick up the phone. And Lori and Heidi said, "We have good news for you. You've been selected for the 2019 Founders Award." And my immediate reaction was, "Do you have the right person?" They assured me no, that there was no mistake, and that apparently it was unanimous. The jury elected to elect at that point, and I was really overwhelmed by the entire process. Part of that process was asking for a bio and a picture. Okay, so the bio was good. I was able to I hadn't put together a bio in a lot of years, and the bio was fine. And when it came to a picture, I said to Lori, "Can I submit Brad Pitt?" And I said, "He's going to be a bigger draw." And Lori said, no, we want your picture. And there were emails going back and forth, and there was a comment by Chris Pelzar that said, "Well, perhaps you could bring him along." That was really an encouraging moment. Let me say that I'm truly honored to be the recipient of the Founders Award. Looking back over past winners, I'm proud to be included with this really special group of people who have contributed so much to this organization and the industry in general. I have enormous respect for the hard work that is done to keep this organization so relevant. As some local organizations, as you know, have either faded away or merged, this group continues to thrive. And there to be a special place where friends are made, networking is done very well, and tries very hard and does a good job of keeping pace with all the changes we have seen. And even from my vantage point, it's clearly been an entirely different industry. And I think today is another example of the organization giving back by keeping one person's memory alive, someone that I had the opportunity to know, with the Laura Smith 2019 scholarships. Last year, I had the privilege of introducing Richard Vergara as the award recipient. And my friend and business partner, for a long time, as I was filling out my bio, I said to Elaine, I know Richard over 40 years. And her response was, he really deserves a medal. And that happens to be the truth. In all seriousness, I mentioned several people in my bio whom I call influencers, which we know has an entirely different meaning today. I think many of us here today were fortunate enough to work for or meet key people in our who influenced how we wound up in our career choices. As Richard alluded to, many of us got into this business by accident, and I'm sure you can cite many who have influenced your career. Starting out in the business, and Richard mentioned that I worked on the marketing side, there were several individuals who were major influences for me that I mentioned in the bio. And Richard mentioned several names. I started off at Longines Symphonette, and in the back room there was this one person doing marketing analytics. And she joined the company just after I did, and I was on the product side, and she was on the analytics side, and her name happened to be Reggie Brady. And I think most of you know Reggie quite well and the career she's gone on to. Richard is someone that I include in that influencer role. You know, like many of you, some opportunities come unexpectedly, and as Richard alluded to, my winding up on the brokerage business happened at a time when I never thought I would be anywhere close to this great industry. With Richard, though, his leadership, knowledge, and reflective thinking are things that I've truly valued over these many years, and that was one of the lucky times when I connected with Richard. I got to know his family, we got to know our kids, and I think it's been something that I am very fortunate to have today. I'm also grateful that I had the opportunity to work with so many clients over the years, really great clients. I had the privilege of working with Boardroom, when Boardroom was known as Boardroom, Kiplinger, Times Mirror, Hearst, Rodale, and others over these many, many years. And I want to thank them for their support and the great deal of patience they showed with me at times. I also want to acknowledge my son Brian, who made the trip up from DC this morning. Brian is a lifelong suffering Mets fan, as I am, and we have some hope, hopefully. I also want to just give a thank out to the sponsors today, two companies that I happen to know fairly well and respect, Weiland and Alliant. And both of those at different times were respected companies that I brought into client relationships and had the privilege way back in 2007 with Richard of getting involved with Weiland and the first publishing co-op. So at that point, I think they've shown their support for the industry, and I want to thank them. And lastly, I have to reach out and thank you all for coming today. I'm honored that you are here, and I would like to again thank you for coming and thank the Hudson Valley for the award. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much. You have to stand to Berisa. And of course, Ms. Christine, our star, or as we call her Chris. Rich Vergara is our copywriter, and he also assists with our sponsorship. So please, you know who Rich is. You have to share. Come on, take it away. Mark, you're going to fill me butt. Not only are you a fabulous treasurer, but you're also a wonderful podcast announcer, and we love your voice. And we want you to continue because all of our podcasts. Thank you. Everybody probably knows Cheryl Benjamin, and probably knows that she moved to North Carolina and she can't make it here today, but she handles all of our educational outreach, scholarship, and YPA awards. And unfortunately, she couldn't be here today, but she'll give her a round of applause even though she's not here. MJ is Cedar. Unfortunately, she couldn't be here. She had a family emergency, but she does all of our emails and communications. So if she reaches out to you, please don't blacklist her, whitelist her, and let her email you. We also have Bob Sawyer, who is our illustrious board advisor. Bob's back there. Hey, Bob. Say hi. Fun fact, Bob, Sally, and I are all members of Descendants of the American Revolution. So just want to put that out for marketing purposes, because as marketers, we all know what that means. And our silent auction committee has Bruce Resnick, Diane Sangretti, and Becky Sanchiello running it. For those of you who don't know, Becky is the newest to our committee, and she also assists with various different tasks, including getting our membership list up to date and emailing and making sure we're whitelisted. So you guys, please stand so we can recognize you. I think Bruce is in the other room tabulating who won those silent auctions. And last, but most importantly not least, is Braden Bertinato. He does all our social media, all our coffee, and the pleasant person that we see at the front desk every time we have our event. All right. So,
Well, you know what, we're going to present our Young Professional Awards. We reached out to our member companies for nominations of young professionals within their organizations who have shown outstanding accomplishments, dedication, and performance. This year, we're very excited to be honoring 3 individuals. Our first honoree is Lindsay Asselmeyer from Lake Group, and Carrie Frank is going to help us present it.
hi everyone. First, it's great to be here at another year in celebration of the Hudson Valley VMA. And thank you for the work you do, the work, Heather, and all the content and great things that you do for this group. And a few words about Lindsay. She's been at Lake Group for 3 years now. And the 3 things that I'd like to share about her are, first, her attitude. She has a great attitude. She came right out of college to Lake and really caught on to our business really quickly, and we want to constantly do that. Second thing is her client relation skills. Our clients and vendors love her. Sonia?
Yes.
Lori and Judy, yes, would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, so she just has a great communication skills. And the third thing are her technical skills. She's got great quantitative, analytical ability to crunch the data that helps us make better decisions. As we all know, it's so hard to find someone with all of those qualities. And so for me, as her supervisor, it's rewarding to see her grow and succeed. And she has a bright future ahead in this industry or wherever it takes her. So thank you again, Hudson Valley DMA, for sponsoring the award. Congratulations to Lindsay and the other recipients.
Thank you. Congratulations. Our second honoree is Emily Neilsen from Plus Media, and to help us present this award, we have Adam Walker from Plus Media.
Good afternoon, everyone. By way of introduction, my name is Adam Walker. I am the Vice President of Media at Plus Media, overseeing our digital and integrated accounts. That's enough about me. This is all about Emily Neilsen. I am honored to be here today to present Hudson Valley's Young DMA Professionals Award to such an integral part of Plus Media and my team. Emily joined Plus Media 6 years ago, and during this tenure, she has shown exponential growth. She first joined Plus Media as an account coordinator supporting our print and insert media services. Many of you may, in fact, have worked with Emily in the past. While this time predates my own arrival with Plus Media, I've come to learn from colleagues that Emily made an immediate impact on the accounts and work she touched, inherently laying the bricks down on the path that has led her here today. In the years that followed, Emily took on more responsibilities in those areas, while also expanding to learn and support additional channels and accounts, once again excelling in her work and helping to drive growth for the company. After making her mark in traditional media, Emily eventually aspired for new challenges and successfully made the transition into the dark side of digital. While many disciplines were transferable, this would entail the crash course learning curriculum followed by a trial by fire in practice. Well, I'm proud to say that Emily once again rose to the occasion and evolved her skill set to now include social media, programmatic display, and paid search. Further, in a necessary evil of playing in the digital realm, Emily also learned new technologies and has been proficient in ad trafficking and tracking. This environment is never short of problem solving with all of its systems and bugs, and yet Emily has provided the technical support that both Plus Media and our clients need in order to effectively run digital media. Today, Emily provides full service management for our clients, everything from planning and execution to analysis and optimization. Her strategic expertise spans across a host of off and online media, bringing an integrated perspective for some of our most critical accounts at Plus Media. Emily has time and time again shown the ability to flourish and elevate herself and her team members, and most recently was promoted to an account executive for Plus Media. I see a very bright future for Emily, and I am truly blessed to have her be part of my team. Emily, congratulations on such a well-deserved award, and keep up the amazing work. Thank you.
Our third honoree is Sonia Occhionero from Merit Direct. And here to help us present this is Ed Larkin from Merit.
It was kept a secret.
That's you. You need my unlike the young professionals. So, by way of introduction, I'm Ed Larkin. I'm Vice President of Transactional Databases for Merit Direct. And I came to Merit 15 years ago to build and manage a transactional co-op database called B2B Base. It was a collaboration between Merit and Experian. About halfway through, I was given the opportunity to build our own program and called Pinnacle, which is what Sonia joined a year and a half ago as an account manager. Working with Sonia has been interesting for me because she is my first direct Gen Y millennial coworker. And, Sonia and her generation, they're our new young professionals. I want to mention that in August 2010, New York Times article, What is it about 20-somethings? Asks, why are so many people in their 20s taking so long to grow up? And addresses underlying concerns about failure to launch and the attitude of boomerang kids. An acclaimed Gen Y researcher, Jason Dorsey, said the stereotype that most of us are familiar with is the entitled millennial who wanted a promotion their first week of work or brought their mother to their interview. These are true stories. That's been the opposite of my experience with Sonia. Let me tell you a little bit about her personal life. Sonia grew up in Montreal, Canada. I believe all or most of her family is still there. And at roughly 16, she came to the U.S. to attend Penn School on a soccer and hockey scholarship, and which I think took a lot of guts for a kid that age to leave their home country to do that. She excelled there in both athletics and academics, and secured a scholarship to Manhattan College, also an academic in soccer and hockey scholarship. And while there, she also excelled in her academics, as well as racking up some impressive scoring statistics and a few penalty minutes, I believe, from some of the videos that we saw. So don't get in the way. But Sonia joined Merit after graduation, and she worked her way up to brokerage assistant. where she became a very integral part of the team that she works with, until the Pinnacle team managed to woo her away. I'm pretty sure that our merit broker is still mad at me for stealing her away. But she joined our team in mid-2018 as an account manager. And this is a really challenging role because the Pinnacle account manager is the primary liaison between the Pinnacle co-op, between our members and our mailers, and inside and outside list brokers. So it's a lot of responsibility. They're not only responsible for onboarding new members, but they're also responsible for maximizing their usage via customer prospecting, via customer reactivation, data asset optimization, and cross-brand pollination. And this is all using our proprietary reporting, count, order, analytics, and modeling systems. It's a very challenging role. It takes the right kind of person to fulfill it. And it's very left brain, right brain as well, because it's not only sales and customer service and client marketing strategy, but it's also data management, and it's also statistics and analytics. And so you have to be pretty well-rounded for it. What impressed me from the beginning was that Sonia sought me out when she realized that we needed to expand our team. And she pursued that role like a loose hockey puck on a breakaway. She was polite, she was professional, but she was persistent. And I really appreciated that diligence. Somebody that was willing to step up and say, I want to do this. That told me that she was willing and eager and able to do it. And she's proven herself unafraid to continue to take on new tasks and when appropriate to take risks. And I find that admirable. She trained for that role while transitioning from her brokerage assistant role. So she had this dual role where she's maintaining a multi-million-dollar book of business on the brokerage side, but also training to learn this really complex program that we have, and learning the mechanics and strategy at Pinnacle. And I think she's developed into a very good mailer advocate who's always looking to improve not only herself, but our processes for both our benefit and also our clients' benefit. The researcher that I mentioned earlier, Jason Dorsey, asked the question, can millennials become loyal, hardworking employees, managers, and leaders? And his answer was 100% yes. Millennials are proving that they can increase their tenure, they can build their careers, and they're starting to make significant contributions to the companies they work for. And I think that young professionals and Sonia and the other folks that we're honoring today are proof of that. One other thing I want to mention about this generation, just in general, of young professionals, is that Harvard Business Review study found that 77% of American Gen Y professionals have said that gaining a leadership position is important to them, and 1 in 3 of them are interested in entrepreneurship. And in order to keep these valuable young professionals close to your firm, you might consider what's been called intrapreneurship, which is having them work on startup projects within your company. That's what we did with Sonia with Pinnacle, and I'm sure each of you have opportunities like that you might consider for some of these young professionals. I think as a young professional, it's easy for people to doubt their abilities and their judgment and their decisions because they're young, and especially when you're surrounded by a lot of more tenured peers. But in my case, because Sonia was a hockey player, whenever she starts to doubt herself, her judgment, I'll just look at her and say, do you want the puck or not? And her answer is invariably yes. And so that's the reason I nominated her. That's why I think she's a deserving recipient of this. So congratulations to Sonia, and thanks to the Hudson Valley Green Bay for sponsoring the award.
Congratulations, Tom.
You might lose your employee after that speech. Each year, our scholarships are awarded to deserving students who have shown the greatest interest and promise for leadership in direct, integrated, or one-to-one marketing. It was extremely difficult choosing 3 out of the impressive 20-something applications that we had this year. And anybody that did not win, we encourage you to resubmit next year because you are all deserving. But it was really, it kind of went down to, pretty much a game show or biggest loser or whatever you want to call it to make sure that we got all the points in here. With Vergara. So this year we are awarding 3 out of 1,000, 3 $1,000 scholarships to students one from Paltz University, which is Lena, Berisa. Rosemary, Belleman from Mercy College. Rommyani, Basu from SUNY. Congratulations to you all. We wish you the best of luck in your future endeavors. So down on the floor. We'd like to remind all our members that we have 3 educational partners, Paltz, Mercy, and SUNY Paltz. Many of these marketing students will be seeking internships next year. Please reach out to Cheryl Benjamin, who's in North Carolina, who's mentioned before, if you have an interest or an opportunity within your company for one of these students. But if you want to jump right in, you can feel free to converse with any of the students that we have here today. In fact, any of you students might want to stand up. Let us know who everybody is here. Go ahead. Come on. Good job.
We have faculty from Paltz, Professor Harvey Markowitz and Professor Jamie Ken. And so feel free to get their contact information if you have interest in internship.
Now we're going to call Bruce, Agent Bruce. He's going to announce our final auction winners.
Thank you.
Okay, we're going to announce 1 through 11. And starting with number 1, the donor company was Alliance. And it was 2 tickets to Frozen, the Broadway play. And the winner is Mark Ricard. The next is from Federal Direct with the donor company. It's Insignia HD Smart TV, Fire TV, and the winner is Heather Winnicky. And then we have Focus USA, Microsoft Surface Pro 7 12.3-inch touchscreen, 128 GB SSD. And the winner is, and I'm really going to, Mary, I'm really going to slaughter your name. So Mary. And then the next one is the donor company is Info Group. And they have a local craftsman basket, handcrafted wood cutting board, cheese board, and bowl with salt and pepper shakers, all hand whittled wood from New England, along with non-GMO organic New England food treats. And the lead is Heather Winnicky. And the next three items were from our very talented Jeff Kobil. Original painting number 1 will go to Robin Allen. Original painting number 2 will go to Donna Hamilton. Original painting number 3 will go to Erica. Next, we have a donor company of Lake Group that put together a date night in gift basket, and that will go to Christine Peltzar. Our next donor company is LB Marketing, and it is a Burgess Smart Voice Translator and Atlas Obscura, and that's going to Jen Gonch. Then we have List Bargains, an Apple AirPods with charging case, and that's going to Mike Curlis. And the number 11 is donor company Vergara, local restaurant gift card, $150, and that's going to John LaMarca.
We'll be back with the other half later. I'll keep going. All right, so we'll keep going. Item 12, donated by Ricard, was the Garmin Mini Dash Cam, and the winner, surprisingly, Mark Ricard. All right, SMC Media Services donated the wine decanter, and that winner is Tim Salas. Okay. Item Specialized Marketing Services donated $100 gift basket from Wine Country. That's the winner is John Rubin. The Visa gift card from Wyman was won by Rich Vergara. The Home Depot gift card donated by me, Horizons, goes to Bob Sawyer. Plus Media's donation of Bridgewater chocolate goes to me, Bruce Resnick. And I donated the Between gift, which is a Swatch watch and a pair of both my cinema movie tickets. The winner for that is Kim Frieder. Bob Sawyer donated 2 ships, Tiffany champagne glasses, silver plate tray, and a bottle of Moet and Don champagne. So that winner goes to Tim Salas. Another RMI Direct Marketing donated the Ring video doorbell. The winner of that is Eric Paisano. Congratulations. Dataline donated an Apple iPad Mini, 64 gigabytes. The winner of Lenny Medico. Finally, the last item donated by Data Marketing Interactive, the Coffee Ninja. Winner is Mark Ricard.
wanted to mention the winning bid summed up in excess of $2,500, so all that money goes to the Student Scholarship Fund. Thank you so much.
Congratulations to our winners. I just want to remind everybody, we have our early bird, we'll still honor our membership early bird special until February 1st, so if you haven't renewed, signed up yet, take advantage of that. You have until February 1st.
Just everyone who needs to pay, we take checks or credit card, rated to do that, to make sure you pay for your silent auction items. Otherwise, we can't award all the lovely scholarships that we intended to make to all the students. And most importantly, we want to thank all of you guys for coming, participating in this yearly event, in this event. And congrats to all of our winners, young professionals, and college students who won some scholarships today. And please, 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 love your family, love your friends, love the world, enjoy your holidays, and have a blessed, happy New Year.